I believe that over the years of owning the gym, we invested a lot of time, energy, and effort in our coaches because we wanted them to know that we cared, right?
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks.
Here we go. Another episode of Gym Marketing Made Simple. This week, guys, I'm flying solo. And I'm just going to come on and really give the listeners some tips that I believe will help them with gym ownership. You know, having owned a successful CrossFit gym for 13 years, and now we've been rocking and rolling with Lasso for 5. There's just so much that I see going on that I believe could be better. So I just want to give you guys some tips that are going to help you guys level up your gym, make more money, have more impact. Because at the end of the day, I really do believe that gym owners are really trying to have more impact, right? Of course, we all need money to survive and pay bills and stuff like that. But you really don't get into gym ownership strictly to, you know, make a killing, you know? So I'm going to talk about a few things that I'm going to talk about some major lessons that I've learned from owning the CrossFit gyms, right? So, so number one, it sort of goes without saying, I believe, in the micro gym industry, you are running a customer service business, not just a gym, right? Excellent coaching and programming, like you definitely need to be a okay coach, right? I don't think you have to be level 5 Jedi to have a great impact on people and help them reach their goals, because that's only part of the equation, right? A successful box, right? They really prioritize customer service, right? So that you can keep members engaged and loyal, right? Because we know that we need that length of engagement to be as long as possible, right? And how do you keep people? You keep people by keeping them happy, right? Doesn't mean that you necessarily agree or bow down to everything that they say, because I used to joke around and say, hey, listen, here at Dynasty CrossFit, we don't let the inmates run the asylum, right? So you need to make sure that you are a hospitality expert, right? You want to make sure you treat every person that walks into the door, smiling faces with respect. You're going the extra mile, the small consistent things, guys. Remembering birthdays. If women in your gym or families in your gym are having children, adding children to their family, just the little things that you gain from being friends with them on social media and stuff like that, and just hearing about it in the gym, it matters, guys, to go out of your way to maybe write them a note, leave them a card, show up to something that they're putting on unexpectedly, because it all contributes to a positive atmosphere in the gym. I had some members that were loyal to me from the time before I even opened, before I had a brick and mortar business. We ran Dynasty out at parks and stuff like that. I had some members that were with me during that time, and they were with me up until the last day that I closed my gym, right? Now, I would like to think that it was because the gym was this this also great place that helped them get in amazing shape, which it did, but it was the little things that, I was a part of some very special milestones uh, for plenty of members. And it wasn't, again, I didn't go into it saying, well, I want to make sure I do this so they stick around forever. Once you really build up this community, right, you have to make sure that you are really managing these um, customer relationships, right? It's just not about making sure the payment goes through on the first, right? Like, you're building relationships with these people, in addition to helping them get in phenomenal shape, right? You help them get in phenomenal shape, and you build a strong relationship with them. They'll stick around for a long time, right? Again, having been in the gym space for so long, most people aren't staying forever, even the great people, right? They're not going to stay forever, right? Relationships are ebb and flow in the gym space because you may decide that you need to do something that's better for the gym in general, but this one person may not really like it. And that's okay, right? You have to do what's best for the greater cause, which is the gym, right? Um, because if you plan to exit one day, you need to make sure you have a sustainable business that isn't run by the members, right? Like we've seen some horror stories about how members just, get a little too comfortable, and I blame it on the owner, right? Because you didn't have parameters and stuff set up. So these people just come to think like, hey, I pay them to go there, so it should be my way or I'll just leave. And a lot of times, if you have members in your gym that think that way, it's probably best for them to leave, guys. So, one, make sure that you are running a customer service business, right? Yes, it's a gym, but make sure the customer service is through the roof. You're responding to emails, returning phone calls, right? Before they even come members. Again, like we talk about at Lasso, specifically, you're running paid ads, right? The customer service experience starts from how quickly you get back to them. What type of atmosphere they walk into when they come into the gym to check it out after you've gotten them in off of the ad. So that's really important, guys. So make sure you understand that you're running a customer service business, right? With these micro gyms, it's not just a gym. It's not the big bucks. Two, I think that member retention is more important than attracting new members, right? You may say, whoa, like you always need more members. I agree, you do if you're trying to grow to a certain level, right? Again, we have a business tailored around attracting new members. So we're not saying that this isn't very important, right? I believe every gym, once they get to a certain level, should be running paid marketing to get out in front of more people. But keeping your members, right, is very important because I know a lot of gyms they they have a decent amount of churn. They get enough members, but it's the same thing every single month, right? We've had gyms work with us. They gain 15, 20 new members per month, but guess what? They lose 15, 20 new members per month, or they lose 15 to 20 members per month. Now, obviously, those are the bigger gyms. You take it down to a smaller scale. People are gaining 7, 8 members, but they're losing 5, 6 every single month. So they're net 2 each month. That's not great, guys. We want to get that churn. We want to keep that churn low, right? Because when that churn is high, it becomes expensive. It becomes very expensive, and keeping the members is again, it is about creating these core members. I think, for me, some of the coolest things that we did in the gym. Let me think, because we had a very strong community, and again, the community, it sort of gets a knock at times. And people are like, well, people not buying community. I wholeheartedly agree. People are not buying community, but the community keeps them around, right? Because a strong community, that could be your best marketing. I can't tell you how many times I had some of my favorite members there literally drag their friends in because they're afraid or they're intimidated or they don't know what to do. But then once we got them in, they saw, oh, these people are cool. Yes, the workout is this and that, but like I feel empowered coming here. So you having a community is very important. And again, back to what I was saying, some of the coolest things that we did. I remember one time we uh we did a gym cruise, right? I want to say it was probably 20, 25 of us. Like we rolled it out. Hey, anyone wants to go? We got a group rate. Went on this cruise for 3 or 4 nights. It was phenomenal, right? Again, I saw a side of some people that I had never seen, but that was okay. We were on the cruise, right? We were on the cruise. We had a great time. Memories made forever, right? So you want to make sure that member retention is key, and having a strong community is part of that. Now, let's sort of get to the business side of it. You want to make sure that you have a very strong and robust retention center, right? So this means make sure that you have a structured onboarding process for new members, right? You can track members' progress, right? Because if you do that, it just makes everything smoother, right? From again, we cannot overemphasize enough how important it is for you to have a onboarding process for members when they come in, right? I know some gyms do the hey, come in and play and try it out. If it's right, you'll stick around. I don't personally love that. I don't think it's the best way. I believe having a structured sort of one-on-one system for them to get going for 4 to 8 sessions at least, so they can get acclimated and learn about the community and learn some of the movements and all of that, just to calm the nerves. That's what I believe is sort of the best way for people to really get ingrained in that community um, from the beginning. And then you want to make sure that, again, you want to make sure that you're really focused on these members' goals, right? Because, again, Susie can be great. She can love the gym. She can love you, but you don't want her to come in and say, listen, Sherman, I love it here, but, I've been trying this. I haven't, I still haven't reached my goal, so I'm going to take a break. But I'm gonna come back, and we've all heard that. You know what that means when they're taking a break. They're gonna come back. They're not coming back more likely, than not, because you want to make sure that you are keeping track with their goals. You're having quarterly meetings and stuff like that. Because if Susie joins in January and her goal is to lose 50 pounds, well, on those quarterly check-ins, you're actually asking Susie, hey, how are you doing with that goal? How many times per week have you come into the gym? What does your eating look like? Have you signed up for the nutrition program that we offer here? Those type of things right there, because now you're holding her accountable as opposed to you're holding her accountable to her specific goals as opposed to letting her be a part of your amazing community, but not helping her get to where she wants to be. Again, that's when we come up on that. Oh, it's great here. I love it. The people are special, but I'm going to take a break. And they're not going to tell you to your face that, hey, like it's fine here, but I didn't join here to gain new friends. I joined here to lose 50 pounds, and I've been here for a year. I wanted to lose 50, and I've only lost 10, right? Again, helping them really understand how to reach their goals, that increases that member's retention, which in the long term, we're trying to have our length of engagement as long as possible, right? So doing these things really matter. So number two would be member retention is very, very important, right? Maybe a little bit more important than attracting new members, but just as important, right? Three. Now, this is one that I absolutely live by. Anyone that came to my gym from the time we opened to the time we closed, they would talk about how clean, organized, and professional our gym was. We had cleaners come in pretty much every night. We had rules for the members, how we're going to wipe bars down after workouts and all of that stuff. We took pride in that. And I do believe, if anyone's come to my gym and you listen to this podcast, like leave a comment in the notes or something talking about it. If you've come to Dynasty CrossFit, that was one of our things. Our gym was clean. It was immaculate. I would have people coming in and say, how long have you guys been here? Oh, we've been here about 7 years. Wow, this place looks brand new. Take pride in the facility, guy. A spotless gym that's organized and well maintained, it sends a message to members and potential members that you care, right? The attention to details. Now, if I'm being honest here, I'm not a very detailed person, but the good thing is my wife, she is, and we own the gym together. We ran it. We were yin and she was yang. So all of the detail work, like I was big picture. I want to make sure the gym was clean and it's getting clean every night. But my wife would come in and the details matter. Hey, this was clean, but it wasn't done perfectly, right? So we had labels on our product, on the chalk. We had labels where stuff went. People know where the bars went, what females bars, where the kettlebells went. The kettlebells were color coded. Guys, the details matter, right? Because when people see how you take your business very seriously, they are going to take it very seriously as well, right? So I want to make sure you guys understand that a clean, organized gym is sort of a non-negotiable, guys. Long gone are the days of doing burpees on the dirty stall mats, get up, shirts black and filthy. That's not it, guys. That's not it. I don't know what the cleaner of choice is now. I've been out for a few years, but I had the Bulldog scrubber. I'm not paid by Bulldog. That thing was amazing. We ran that thing every single night, cleaned the floor like a champ, right? The gym looked brand new every single morning. All right. So making sure that you have a clean, organized, professional space, like that's a non-negotiable. All right. So that's tip three. Um, all right. I'm gonna say number four, you must understand that you are running a business, right? You're not just a coach, not just a gym owner. You want to make sure you understand that you're running a business. And one of the coaches here, he's sort of phenomenal when it comes to planning. Shout out to Tommy. I love to hear Tommy talk to gyms that reach out to Lasso or come on board when we do our sales and ROI call. And Tommy helps them plan for like the long term success, right? Like we're not one of those marketing companies that you're gonna come on and say, hey, we're gonna get you 40 members in 30 days or you don't pay us. That's not our thing, right? We're gonna talk about real, consistent, sustainable growth so that you can know what 6 months is going to look like, what 12 months is going to look like. Not just focus on the day to day. I got to make sure I do this and do that. Yes, at times as owners, you can get bogged down, especially in the beginning. You can get bogged down in the day to day, right? But you want to make sure that you're planning for a long term, right? You're looking at the metrics. Again, you know your finances, you know your metrics for everything. You're constantly building systems to improve the business overall, right? I remember the first time that I was able to because for years my wife and I we did everything, right? Coaching every class, all of that. I remember when I got my first coach, part-time coach on board, and I was able to go. The kids were young. I was able to go away for the weekend. Now, this was back when, I probably left Friday afternoon, Friday around noontime. So we had two or three evening classes on Friday. She coached those. One class on Saturday, she coached that one. And then Sunday we were closed. And I remember that being such a feeling of accomplishment. I was like, oh man, this place actually ran without me. I was like, this is amazing. And that's what sort of got me on the trail of, oh, I want to make sure that I can actually leave, and not only can it run, it can actually gain more members, right? So again, that was sort of my next iteration. First, it was, oh, can I leave for a day? Can I leave for 2 days? Can I leave for 3 days? And then it's like, okay, I can do that. But now when I leave, I need to actually grow, and that was sort of the next thing. Then it was just again, guys, you just sort of compound on everything you're doing because as you get deeper and deeper into helping people, it is it's a full-time job. Like gymming is hard. I tell everyone, gymming is hard. So you have to manage this business and understand that you're just not a coach, right? And I want to make sure you guys, as you're managing the business, make sure that you're diversifying your revenue stream, guys, right? Of course, we want to have group classes, but we need to have personal training. We need to have nutrition coaching. Maybe you could even have some small group, and large group. So you want to make sure that those revenue streams are increasing. And you have a few so that if one sort of just goes away for whatever reason, right? I mean, I look back to when COVID happened, we had to stop group classes in person. Then we sort of went online like everyone. But I remember we had a pretty robust nutrition program. We're running it through HSN. Shout out to Nicole and those guys over there who do a great job. And my nutrition clients, they didn't bat an eye, right? Because they were okay with, well, I don't need to really see you multiple times per week anyway, like I was used to when they would see us in the gym. So we were going, so then we went to virtual meetings, but the nutrition side of it kept going stronger. It probably increased during COVID. And I didn't have to get as fancy or whatever you want to call it during COVID. So make sure that you're diversifying your revenue stream, guys. So that's really important as you're managing the business, not just being a coach, right? Number five, invest in your employees and the culture, guys. high staff turnover, like it can crush the gym, right? You want to have coaches there long term. Now, me, I was in a transient town, so I had a lot of college students in and out. Um, so we didn't hire a ton of students. We hired some that were the best of the best, and they were around for 3 or 4 years, and they would leave, and that was always a sad day. But I really try to get coaches that could be around long term, right? So they can hold that standard. They would help new members know, oh, this is what it's like here. These are the expectations. This is how we put equipment away. This is how we clean equipment after we work out. So you have to invest in your employees, and that's with certifications. That's also with their pay, right? That's also with staff only stuff because again, I would say probably most gyms they may have one or two full-time coaches and the rest are part-time. There's very few gyms that have only full-time coaches. Those are the gyms that are absolutely crushing it. But nevertheless, you want to make sure that your employees and your members know that hey, I'm all in on these people. This is just not Coach Betty coaching one class per week so she can get a free membership. I don't even know if people still do that. But I mean, we've all done it. I did it for a while in the beginning until I realized there was a better way, right? But as you guys are hiring, you want to make sure your employees see you leading by example, right? Your energy, your attitude, your authenticity goes a long way because they say, okay, that is how we act here, right? And as you're hiring coaches, guys, I'm big on, hey, I want to hire for culture, not just credentials, right? Because someone can have their level 8 and all these certifications but if they don't fit the culture for whatever reasons, it doesn't matter, right? Of course some certifications are necessary, but I want to make sure I'm hiring coaches that align with my gym values. And I think I look back over the course of owning the gym. I always say maybe my gym was really crappy, or maybe I was a pretty good leader because I never had a group of coaches sort of go to the other side and open up a gym because they're mad at me and stuff like that. In 13 years, it didn't happen, right? I really tried to show my coaches that I care, right? It didn't mean that I definitely had some hard conversations with coaches, had to let some go, and the time just wasn't right. But I believe that over the years of owning the gym, we invested a lot of time, energy, and effort in our coaches because we wanted them to know that we cared, right? So, look, that's the 5 tips. I'm gonna give you a bonus. I'm gonna give you a bonus, guys, because I want to make sure you get enough value out of this. So, um, let's go back. So we got number one. You want to make sure that you are running a customer service gym, right? You want to make sure it's a customer service business. It's a customer service. Member retention, two, is very important, right? A clean, organized gym, professional space, non-negotiable. It goes a long way. You must manage the business, not just coach, right? And then 5, make sure you're investing in your employees and your culture. And number 6, I'm going to say, make sure that you are getting in front of people. This is the extra. Make sure you get in front of people, guys, in your area, right? Paid marketing, doing events. Obviously, I'm biased towards paid marketing. I think there's a reason all of the quote unquote big boys are doing it. Franchises do it. You have to make sure that you're marketing because I don't care how long you've been there. If you're not running paid marketing, you're not getting out in front of enough people, right? I can't tell you how many times we'll work with the gym. They've been around in their area, in their town for 7 years. And then all of a sudden they're running ads and they're like, man, we're getting all these people that say they didn't even know we were here. We thought that we had a huge market share. There's still so many people that don't know about us, guys. So make sure that you are running some paid marketing. And if you don't know if the time is right, reach out to us. We'll help you. We're not going to sign you up early because it's just going to be more headaches for us, right? It's going to be more detrimental to you. So make sure that you are running some paid marketing so you can really get out in front of people, guys. You know, we love working with gyms that are in pre-opening, during the grand opening because we know getting out in front of those people really matters because you may think everyone knows that you're there, but I promise you they don't, guys. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. As always, tell a friend to tune in, and we will chat with you guys next week. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's LASSOFRAMEWORK.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.